Hello and welcome to MINIGAME, a podcast about video game stories and why we love them. I'm Michael Ferris. More than any other game in recent memory, Death Stranding was a game that was entrenched in mystery. We only had vague trailers and game designer Hideo Kojima's Twitter account to piece together what exactly this game was going to be. All we knew was that the game featured a cast of Hollywood actors and directors. The story was about connecting people in a post-apocalypse, and that Kojima insisted that Death Stranding was the invention of a new genre of game, a so-called Strand game. Now that I've gotten my hands on the game, I found it's not as mysterious or confusing as it was originally marketed, but that does not mean that the game is not interesting or unique. On the contrary, Death Stranding is one of the most unique games I've played in years, and it's one of the few games that I've played that tells its story better through its gameplay than its cutscenes. It's easy to get lost in the weirdness and jargon of the world of Death Stranding. Within the first few hours of the game, you are introduced to concepts such as the time fall, invisible enemies known as BTs, the chiral network, a medical condition known as dooms, bridge babies, those iconic at this point babies in jars that you've probably seen in the trailers, and worm-like creatures known as cryptobites that improve your health. It's a lot to take in at once, especially since all of the characters have stupidly literal names such as Dead Man, who's a mortician, Fragile, a woman with a broken body, Heartman, a man whose heart stops every 20 minutes, and the president's daughter, whose name is, and I swear this is true, Samantha America Strand. It's completely ridiculous. It doesn't help that every character also talks like this.
I think they're gone. What the hell? Didn't mean to grab you so hard. Tears. A chiral allergy. So, you have dooms, like me.
I've got the extinction factor, but I think you got me beat.
What's your level? You can see them, right?
No, but I can sense them.
Level 2, then.
What are you doing here?
Trying to stay dry. Same as you. Time falls that up.
When you take away some of the odd trappings, the plot of Death Stranding is fairly straightforward. You, as delivery man Sam Porter Bridges, are tasked with reconnecting the people of America, many of whom have socially distanced themselves into underground bunkers after an apocalyptic event known as the Death Stranding. It's also become an oddly relevant story since, as of this writing, more and more state and national governments are encouraging their citizens to retreat into their homes and not leave unless absolutely necessary in the face of the coronavirus. Since you are a delivery man, the majority of the game involves you navigating a dangerous environment and delivering much-needed supplies to people and connecting them to the chiral network, which is a sort of super internet. Unlike most modern games, there's no XP system or money or skill tree that you get as a reward. The reward comes from the satisfaction of you helping your fellow Americans survive and connecting them to each other. I found myself taking on side quests not to get any sort of reward, but to give people the things they need, such as deliveries of DVDs and pizzas. As is, Death Stranding is a unique, if somewhat unexciting, action-adventure game. But what made Death Stranding truly unique and tells the true story of the game is its unique approach to multiplayer of all things. When you connect a section of the world to the chiral network, you're able to see various echoes of other players' actions. For example, early in the game, I was venturing into a particularly difficult part of the terrain when climbing a mountain. I found myself slipping and falling all the time, which damaged the cargo I was tasked with delivering. Looking around, I saw grappling hooks and ladders that other players have left behind for others to use. You can see the PSN name for the player who left behind that piece of equipment and give them a Facebook-style like to let the player know that you appreciate their help. Death Stranding is all about this sort of anonymous kindness for each other. You see cargo that other players have lost in their travels, and you can complete the deliveries for them. You can also press in the touchpad button on the PS4 controller to shout into the void to ask if anybody is near you. And if other players are nearby, you see a little ghostly apparition of their presence. And every time you make a delivery in the game, you do not meet the receiver face to face. Instead, you just speak to a holographic projection of them. Amazon and GameStop are full of negative reviews of Death Stranding, many of which read along lines of, "If I wanted to deliver boxes, I would just get a job at Amazon." But while playing Death Stranding, I kept thinking about the unofficial motto of the United States Post Office, which reads, quote, "Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds," end quote. Yes, Death Stranding is a game in which you deliver packages to people. But like with postal workers and other thankless jobs, the reward comes from the work itself, because that work needs to be done. And it's often the mundane that keeps us connected and makes life feel just a little bit more normal. Thank you very much for listening. Executive producer of the Lore Party Podcast Network is Abu Zafar. Minigame is written and produced by Michael Ferris. Original music for Minigame is produced by Lawrence Kelly. Follow Lore Party on Twitter and Instagram at lore_party. And check out our website at loreparty.com. Subscribe to Minigame in your favorite podcasting app and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps me grow the show. Thank you very much for listening.